welcome to another episode of Mommy Needs a Break. It is a podcast for new moms who don't have it together because guess what? We don't have it together and that's okay. Because ain't nobody gonna take our kids from us. We love them. I'm one of your hosts, Megan Thomas at Make Scoop Everywhere.
And I am Marisa Johnson and she is Marisa J. Make sure to follow Mommy Needs a Break podcast on all platforms at MNAB Podcast and check out our website for all updates at mnabpodcast.com. I got it right.
You got it right. Look at you, because you be stumbling, but today you on your stuff, girl. All right, y'all. You know how we do this every week. We have great guests. Today is no different, but we have a daddy guest. Mm-hmm. We love our daddy guests because they give us a different perspective and there's so much fun. Today, you see this gentleman. Now I'm going to have to read this because you got so many things going on. He is a husband, a new father to a baby girl, entrepreneur and CEO of so many companies. I don't even know if it's true. Okay. It's too many. Can't nobody be CEO of that many companies. Yeah. And including Sunday to Sunday, which is a great hair care line we're going to talk about. Let's give it up for Keenan Beasley.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. I
don't know how you have the time with all these companies.
Man, we rocking. Yeah, that's the magic behind the scenes. We don't have to get into that. We can't give away all the secrets. So
and you have a new baby girl.
Baby girl, Kennedy. Yeah, 6 months.
What's something about parenting nobody told you that you found out?
All of it.
Like nobody prepared you?
No, I think, what's got me is like your whole life like completely changes, but you almost forget what it was like before they came.
Right.
So like I'm actually struggling to understand like what I was doing with time.
Right.
Like back then. So yeah, I'm completely thrown off. But yeah, I mean 6 months in, I'm trying to just get used to it.
Yeah.
So you guys know I'm getting beat up right now.
You are.
Late night.
Thank you for joining
early morning.
Yeah.
Is her time schedule back to normal?
You know what? I guess we're in that like new stuff, sleep training and all that. So she does great. She sleeps really well, but she's got her little turn up hours, Yeah, it's that hour before. It's about, 6:30. 6:30 to 7:30
like the witching hour or something like that. I think it's called.
Is this AM or PM?
PM.
Oh.
Like right before. They call it the witching hour. When
I don't
kids
think that goes away.
Oh God.
That don't go away because my kids act up crazy before it's time to go to bed.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. Does my son do that?
Mine do.
Maybe he does, but I'd be like, sit down. So maybe that's why I don't really notice.
Yeah. She's not responding to that stuff.
No. She runs the show right now.
She's got it. She got it all. Yeah,
well, I'm glad you're adjusting.
Yes. We getting there. But no. Appreciate it. I'm glad I could be here.
All right, let's get into our first segment. It's Aint No Shame, where we don't shame parents for their shameful moments. And we don't call CPS on them either. Mm-hmm. So don't y'all do that. What's your shameful moments this week?
Oh, so many. Ain't no shame in letting your kids pee outside.
Okay, I gotta hear this.
And
you
their
have daughters. Right.
So it's so interesting because when we go out, like we went to a pumpkin patch in October and Halo. So I have a 4-year-old and then I have a soon to be 2-year-old. Okay. And there were porta potties. I personally don't even use porta potties. I will hold it. And so I was like, oh, Halo, like there's a potty. She's like, that's dirty. And I was like, yes, it is dirty. So what do you want to do? She's like, can you just put on Arya's diaper on me and I'll just wait? And I was like, okay. So that's just her thing. Like she will not use porta potties if the toilet is just not. So we took a road trip over the holiday break to Arizona. So we drove to Scottsdale. And of course we had to stop to use the bathroom. We stopped at a gas station. We went inside and she was like, absolutely not. She's like, Mommy, the toilet is dirty. And I was just like, Halo, like you have to pee. I'll hold you. So I was like, I'll hold you up. Like we got to figure this out. You can't pee on yourself. And she's like, no, let's go back in the car. So we got back in the car and she's like, I got to go pee. And we were like, okay, well then you're going to have to pee outside. And she's like, okay. So we pulled off somewhere. I don't know. It was, you drive to Arizona. It's just like dirt. And I'm like, okay, this is how you do it. Like, and she was like, no. I was like, Halo, yes, you just got to go. And then, so I had to show her. I was like, let me show you. Yes. I was like, let me show you how to do this because Terrell did it and she didn't like comprehend that. And I was like, let me show you. So I showed her and then she was like, can you pick me up? I was like, sure. So I just like picked her up and she peed and she was laughing. It was so funny. Wiped her up, got back in the car, and head to Scottsdale.
That's how you do it.
I love it. That's
how you do it.
She would not pee in the gas station.
I don't blame her.
She was just, she has, Halo has standards. She has a very sophisticated palate and she has high standards.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes. I like her.
I just found, there is this thing though, now that, you guys have girls, I have one on the way. There's this, it's a portable, you can put it in the car, but it's like, it's a plastic bag. You sit in it. So like if your kids have to pee on a road trip, you sit them on there, specifically girls. Stop. Like, you don't have to stop. Like you can just sit them on there. And then when you just bags, throw it away.
Yeah, like diaper genie style, but like direct
diaper genie.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And then I have I know for my son, because I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm like Halo, like, don't pee on that. And boys don't care. He'll touch everything on a public toilet. So I had to I got these like toilet seat covers from Amazon, but they're like, you know how like the regular ones you have at the bathroom, you just pull them out, but these are like oversized. So, they be touching the side and it covers all of that.
Yeah.
So you just sit it on there. So I keep them in the car. I keep some in like his little backpack. And like, whenever we go to a public restroom, I'll be like, sit this on there because he's all doing this.
I hate that. I'm like, keep your hands here.
Even though we're gonna wash his hands, I'd be like, I feel like his hands got like herpes bumps on it or something. I'd be like, don't touch it, don't do it.
They got all kind of new gadgets. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Make your life easy. Yeah. What about you, Keenan? You have any shameful moments in your 6 months of parenthood?
I'm early. I think I'm just getting embarrassed, from the.
It's okay because it's gonna keep happening.
It does.
Yeah. I think that's what people keep telling me. I'm trying to adjust because now we're in this whole like Zoom life and video conferences. So I probably do anywhere from 6 to 12 meetings a day.
Wow.
But in my shifts where I have my baby, it's like I'm on, and actually this happened this morning, so I'll give a shameful moment of this. But I'm on, and we're doing a project in Kansas City for my nonprofit, and I'm on with the mayor of Kansas City. So we're on, we're talking through some stuff. And I normally keep her in the rocker. So she just watches me in meetings, but she just starts whining. I'm like, damn, I know I got to talk. So boom, I go and I grab her right when I start talking. She just throws up on me. And so I'm sitting there, but you can't really turn your camera off because people are trying to act like it's a face-to-face meeting.
Right,
so I'm just sitting there with throw up on me, just trying to deliver my little pitch and just take the L. And
nobody said anything. They didn't say like,
they were like it was cute. Like they just kind of laughed, and I'm just sitting there like, I just got to roll with this with just straight throw up all over my chest, but. Let me try to position her to cover it a little bit and keep handling this business. Okay. Yeah. Just try to do a little comfort. But it's a lot of that. A lot of that right now. It's 6 months. So it's interesting.
I feel like but you know what? I think that's the one thing about this like whole pandemic Zoom life is that like there's grace.
Yeah.
Because people are like, even if they don't have kids, they kind of be like, okay, that's annoying. But they're like, you know what? I get it. Like I see what you're going through.
It's
real.
I
give you the grace for it.
It's real, and there's so many meetings now.
There's just so many.
It's ridiculous.
So many.
Yeah.
But no, humbling, man, humbling with her.
Well, let's get into some of the stuff that you do with these 6 to 12 meetings a day.
All right.
You have a massive resume. I just researched you and was like, my goodness. So we got to see which one of these is capping because you got too much stuff going on. You are the CEO of Supply Factory Brands, Kukua Corp, SundayIISunday, Venture Noire, all really great businesses, and probably like a bunch of other businesses that I don't even know about. So I want to ask you, with a new baby, a wife, and like all of these different businesses, how do you balance all of them?
I think for me, I just focus on alignment, right? So just trying to pull everything in and making sure that 1 + 1 equals 3, and not 2, because I think it can look crazy when you read it on paper because it just looks like individual companies, but they all kind of work in conjunction in one ecosystem.
Okay.
So what I have is I have a nonprofit that is purely about improving quality of life for Black Americans, right? And that's called Venture Noire. And the way in which we do that is through job creation. Okay. So when we talk about job creation, well, the first thing we have to do is do an accelerator. So we got to help people understand how to build businesses and do all that. So we have an accelerator. That accelerator, though, is focused on consumer products. So beauty and healthcare companies. Well, then once you get through an accelerator, where do you go, right? Most of the time we finish something as a Black entrepreneur and we're just left on our own.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to have 2 ecosystems for you. I got to have one, a holding company of brands. So now you can work with other brands and learn from one another, but you're in like a company of people, or I can invest in you. And that's then the fun, to be able to give you some money because you're good on your own. So my whole ecosystem works together, all centered around how do we improve the lives of Black Americans? And so it just makes it very congruent. You know what I mean? Okay. So I don't feel distracted. It's easy for me to keep my narrative straight and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I do it. But you know, you throw in Baby Kennedy in there, I don't know. You know,
I will tell you, I'm going a little off topic, but I feel like it gets easier, and then little kids who grow up in this life, like they're just so special. It's just something about them. Like if you would have saw my girls here, like we signed this lease 2 weeks after my first one was born.
Wow.
So she's been here during construction. She meets people. Like if you come in here, it's like, welcome to my space. She was here testing the bikes this morning. Yep. Like they just have this different mindset when they're like,
she got it.
When your parents are entrepreneurs, especially being Black, you know, someone asked me like, does she see you? She just had her first recital. Like, does she see you like perform or something? Like, where did she get that from? And I'm like, I mean, I have to do things. I guess I got to get up and speak and things, but I'm not out here performing or doing nothing like that. Awesome. But they like pick up on everything that we do. Yeah. You know, so I always think it's special to have like entrepreneur, like Black parents.
I was gonna say, it's like, that's so beautiful to see. And then like you were saying how your baby's in the rocker, like she's right. I mean, she's soaking this up. Even though she's 6 months old, like she's soaking up the fact that like my dad takes these meetings, is what they talk about.
She's about to come out something serious for folks. I don't know. They might want to watch out then. I think, but the challenge though for me is the emotion, because what I do notice is that they can feel your emotion.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
100%.
and like I wasn't always aware sometimes of the energy I was projecting until she was born. And now I can see it, because like if I'm like a little agitated or upset, she starts crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if I'm happy in a good mood, she's just sitting there in the meeting like smiling. So now it's really helping me kind of separate, you know, things that are maybe just not good for my spirit and my energy. You know what I mean?
And like, the girls make well, in my opinion, like with my husband, it's like the baby girls make the men more intact and in tune with their emotions.
Oh yeah, I'm a cupcake.
Yeah, like he's so soft with her. Like, it's like so crazy to watch. I posted something on my Instagram this morning, and literally my oldest gets in the bed every night, and this morning she was like spooning him. I was like, "This is her man." Like
I saw that she had her arm on his neck, like she was.
Like that's not spoon. My man. That's their man. Like, Daddy, can we get married? Like they are just so in love with their dad. So it's so crazy to watch like the girl, the daughter. Husband, daughter, father. Yeah, daughter, father relationship.
Yeah.
They make us soft, man.
So soft. I can just tell when you
Absolutely. I'm straight mush, man. Happened so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Happened so fast. It was instant. It was crazy.
No gangster, sorry.
No gangster left. Soft as hell. I done lost my whole player card, everything, man.
Hilarious.
It's bad. It's bad.
Good to know.
So you talked about all your different businesses. Can you just like dig in a little deeper to how you got started in this? You know, the journey into entrepreneurship, what that looked like for you? Yeah,
so I'm a graduate of the world's best institution, West Point. Shout out to all my Army West Point folks.
I don't even know how you did that, man. West Point is tough.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah. It's definitely real. But I think it set the stage for a lot of what I'm doing now, because I think West Point, highly disciplined institution, right, with a lot of legacy, a lot of history. But I think what carries you through is one, focus on the mission. So understanding like you're here to make the society better, but then also your classmates and your peers. So it teaches you really a sense of discipline, but then this like mission focused mentality. And I think being a West Point football player, right, plus double majors and all that, like I learned to compartmentalize things really well. So I change gears really quick. Like I can go from a finance meeting to a creative session in a transition of a Zoom. Right? Like, because that's how fast we got to move now. So I think that helps. But from there, I was a medical discharge, which was crazy in itself, which meant that I didn't do my 5 years of service after. They basically said, hey, good luck, go figure it out. So I'm like this 21-year-old now West Point grad, which you don't see walking around.
No,
right? Because normally they're in the military, right? So
yeah.
I became this kind of hot commodity with like corporations, right? Where they were like recruiting me, so I had a totally different story than most people when they get out of college, in that like fear of getting a job. I had 25 job offers.
Wow.
Like before I graduated.
Wow.
And, so I was picking like what city I wanted to live.
Yeah.
Like it was that kind of discussion. So from there I went into engineering. Then I got into marketing. So I worked at Procter & Gamble. I worked at Reckitt Benckiser and then L'Oreal. So I did all brand management roles. So I used to run Tide, which is this monster brand, right? We launched Tide Pods and like all these things that are household stuff. I launched Gillette, Mach 3 around the world. I did Lysol, Dettol globally, French's Mustard, Frank's Red Hot Sauce, and then I was the youngest vice president over Garnier in haircare, which is kind of how I started to learn more of the beauty haircare space. So I did that. Then I launched a tech company with one of my mentors, did that, spun that off. We launched a MarTech agency, did that, spun that off. Then I started like, okay, now I'm young, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Yeah. And it was really around, well, what am I good at? Some of that was marketing and consumer products. But then what's my like mission and like purpose, really getting back into that. Because I think just making money is not going to sustain us, right? Especially when this stuff is hard and making money is probably the thing that's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Making money for other people.
Yeah. I mean, what's guaranteed is you're going to work your ass off.
Right.
What's not guaranteed is you're going to make some money off.
Right.
Of it. So you better enjoy the work and the process of it. So, I took probably 6 to 8 months and just traveled and brainstormed like on things I wanted to do. And it really centered around what I said, earlier, like, when I look at Black culture, I said, man, Black culture is like the greatest export of America. Like it goes everywhere, right? I'm in Iceland, I'm listening to trap music. Yeah. Right. And they're like rapping in Icelandic or whatever their, language is. So I'm like, Black culture is everywhere. I'm seeing our fashion, just our swag, our slang, our music, our dance, just everything. But yet we're not seeing the Black wealth. So that was kind of one, like, all right, how do we use our culture to create wealth? Okay, what does that look like? So I looked at that. Then I said, all right, quality of life is bad, but that's because unemployment is high, right? Some of these things, right? Crime is high, education is bad, which are all factors around, are there jobs, right? Like, is there stable economies and a thriving Black middle class? Right. So then you start researching that, and I'm not going to nerd out on you guys, but like you research it and it happens everywhere, right? So I was in Colombia, I was in Brazil, right? I'm in parts of Africa, and it's all the same thing where there was an industry, that industry was kind of disrupted or destroyed.
Colonized?
You can say that, right?
All right.
Something happened, right? Whether intentional, accidental, whatever, that's not my place. But the patterns have been, there is at one point Black thriving communities, then some sort of destruction and decimation of that. And now it's, where do they go? Right. And so we're kind of at that intersection now, which is, where do we go to build Black middle class? Where do we go to uplift and build quality of life? And I said, look, well, let's do what I know, right? I mean, consumer products, Black people influence consumer products more than anything else, right? Like hair care, especially, skincare, especially, what we eat and consume, dry goods, right? Beverages. These are all influenced through Black culture. Yeah. Of course, liquor and spirits, right? And all these things. So I said, all right, well, do those create a lot of jobs? They do, right? Yeah. Manufacturing, right? All these things, right? You create hundreds of thousands of jobs. Procter & Gamble has 130,000 employees, right? Walmart has 1 million employees. These are off of consumer goods. So those are big workforce engines. So I said, man, let's put this thing together. Let's put this thing together. Let's build an ecosystem and let's work. So this has been like the last 3 years of just getting after it. Yeah. Honestly. That's big. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So what I have in the portfolio, so I have obviously the nonprofit called Venture Noire. My flagship product line is SundayIISunday. So what I'm rocking now, which is kind of, we say a leading textured hair care, business for active women, but it was about, women have this like unbelievable process of working out and then they have to transition quickly somewhere, whether it's work or with the kids or family. There was no products that functionally helped with that transition time. And I was like, we talk to women, we shout with you guys, in marketing on everything except for like how to like actually get ready after an activity or doing something that you love. So I said, all right, what are all those products? So we created SundayIISunday. So it was a line of products for that transition. I launched a CBD business, but I launched that down with Afro-Colombians down in Colombia. So we bought land with them, right? Did all that to really bring jobs and all that down in South America. I have a way crazy vision there. We'll get to that on another day. But then I have, Masterpiece as a male grooming company. I have Just Be, which is affordable skincare for Black women. I have I Love the Spa, which is all about, loving yourself inside and out. So prebiotics, probiotics for gut health for Black women, as well as skincare to protect against hyperpigmentation.
You didn't bring us none of this?
Man, I told you, I was moving. If I had, I'd have had a whole kit. I'm going to send y'all something. But I got product. I'll tell you that much. I'm out here moving product.
You are.
But that's what I do. That's it.
No, I always bring this guy up. His name is Shalom. He gives me shea butter bricks.
Ooh.
And he has
it.
And I met him not too long ago, and we had like a 2-hour conversation. He's from not Nigeria. Is it Nigeria? I think it's Nigerian.
Liberia is big on
and he was basically opening my eyes to this product life of, he was like, you Americans, you think like this far up. You go to Africa, you go somewhere else, it's like the sky is the limit. He was like, you need 1% of the population to buy into what you're doing.
You don't even need that much.
Right. That's what he was telling me. No, literally. And so now we're like homies. He has a shea butter farm. He has a hibiscus farm.
Love it.
He has a turmeric farm, a ginger farm out there. Yeah. And he's opening my eyes to this distribution life of selling goods and for service. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Just sitting down having a conversation with someone that's not from here is like,
well, it's a lot because they deal with, most of these countries, right? What poor people have typically is land.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then so, they either barter their goods for survival, but they usually call it like food survival, right? Or farming survival. So you get these like raw ingredients.
Right.
Then you get an American, we take the raw ingredients and then we mix it and we make formulas, right? We make all this other stuff with it. That's manufacturing. That's an additional step. Then you got the brand products.
Right.
And we put the label on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another step.
Yeah.
So folks in America, we're making money down the whole line. So I think it's always interesting to see which portion of it you want to own or if you want to try to do the whole thing.
He's doing all of it.
Yeah, because CBD got weird for me. I'm not going to lie. Like,
really?
Imagine I'm taking white powder from Colombia
that is kind of weird.
to America.
That is kind of weird.
It's going to raise a few eyebrows. You know what I mean? Like, couple people looked at me funny.
When I tell people, when I be like, hey, bring me some bricks, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Because he be giving me these bricks.
We moving kilos,
man.
That's what I tell people. We moving kilos out here.
Bring me some bricks.
Explain to me, because I thought CBD was like cannabis plants with THC removed, or what is it?
So you do have a removal of the process, but I deal with hemp plants. So hemp plants have very little THC.
See, that's what I like.
So very little of it do you have to extract out. It's typically within legal limits. So some countries are 1% THC, some are 0.3%, some are 0. So that's happening in the extraction process, but they're virtually almost all CBD in hemp plants. On the marijuana plants, very different structure.
Got it.
Because then you wouldn't throw away the THC.
Right.
If you're gonna grow a marijuana plant, you're like, nah,
that's for.
We trying to raise the THC.
Okay.
So I deal with hemp.
So they're like cousins.
Yeah, exactly. Sisters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like the hemp
sisters.
sister.
Yeah.
You like
I can
the
do
hemp
the
sister?
I could do a little drop of anything. I'd be out.
Yeah,
I don't even need.
That
I love
CBD.
CBD.
CBD is good for me because playing football. Like Duke and all of us, they would give us so many anti-inflammatories.
Yeah.
For like the swelling of our knees and all that. So that's how I got big into CBD because, you give Black people who naturally have high blood pressure. We naturally have, kidney function issues. I want to take something more natural to reduce the swelling in my body. So
100%.
CBD was it for me.
Absolutely.
You send us these products now.
I know.
I got you.
Do they come in a gummy form?
We got all that.
Okay.
Tis the season.
I don't like
what I mean?
I don't like food.
Oh, well, I need the food portion.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you were talking about, you're showing Sunday to Sunday. You have that on.
Yeah.
This is a genius hair care line because you know why? Black women especially be like, oh, I can't work out today, girl. I have my hair done. I can't sweat my edges out. I can't, and that your health shouldn't suffer because of your hairstyle. Yeah. So I love that you have created a product that fills that gap. What made you want to fill that gap specifically?
Yeah.
And then as a man, what you know about my hair?
Look, you know what? first, let me answer that second portion, right? I know enough to be dangerous, but here's a good thing though about marketing, right? Like marketing is just about serving, right? So like, I don't have to have the problem to want to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from like the military background.
Well, how'd you know the problem?
So that's through observation, right? And actually caring about people.
Okay.
Because when you care about somebody, they're going to tell you what's wrong with them, right? What's bothering them, whatever. So that's the great thing for me is like, usually what I'm dealing with are products where I get to listen and I'm just helping. So it's not about solving it for me. It's like, I want to help you. I want to make your life better.
Right.
Like I might be good.
But
I want you to be good.
Other questions now, but
but on that, like obviously I ran, you know, $1 billion hair care business, right? And some of these things too. So I mean, I definitely know a lot to be very dangerous. But kind of how I got into it, I mean, I'm surrounded by active women. You know, like my mom and sister are swimmers. Excuse me, my mom and my niece are swimmers. My sister ran track. But then my lady's a celebrity trainer, right? So she's a fitness professional constantly, I'm getting. So I'm seeing my niece complain about her hair because she's in the pool. So you got a little black girl who now likes boys and she's swimming every day. I don't think it can get any worse.
Right.
like this is just rough for her, you know? So when she was considering like, you know, at one point she came to me and she was thinking about not swimming.
Because of her?
And so it took me a bit to get to it, right? Because I'm trying to understand why, right? Because she's a top 20 swimmer in the country. So I'm like, yo, why you, like, come on now. And she just rocks everything. So I'm thinking it was the anxiety, you know, like the pressure to perform. And she's like, well, you know, it's just my hair is always so dry and like it's not growing and people are making fun of me. And I was like, okay, all right, hold on. This is a real thing. So then I'm talking to my lady and she's like, well, yeah, you know, I don't even train people on Mondays and Tuesdays because you know, they just got their hair done. So it's like, you know, it picks up towards the end of the week. So I'm like, okay, it's messing with her bag too. And just the lifestyle. So it kind of clicked for me like, okay, this is something that's a real unmet need. But you know, it's a tough challenge. So that's why we had to start with Scalp and work our way up, right? On trying to understand how to actually solve for both the time commitment, right? But then the overall health of the hair.
Can you explain like the process of the product?
Yeah. So most of where our challenges are because, you know, especially as people of color, our hair follicle is different. So that's the main shift between straight hair and curly hair and super, super curly hair is do you go from round to very elliptical follicle? So that's just how your hair grows out. And what that does is it changes how the sebum is produced across your hair. So across your scalp. Sebum is what's actually allowing your scalp to feel moisturized, right? So you'll find like white women say, I got to wash my hair every day because it feels greasy. That's because their sebum is moving from their scalp through their hair strands quicker because it's round follicle. As ours, it's very uneven. So we're having dry spots. You might have certain spots of your head that are a little drier than others. That's the uneven distribution of sebum. So the first thing we did from a technology standpoint was balance out the sebum production over the scalp. So that's like the core actives. Now, that's the challenge, right? Because that's like super nerdy. I'm trying to figure out how to commercialize that, right? That's the real startup process.
How do you market it then? It's what's that verbiage? So
that was challenging, but we said, you know, okay, how do we actually protect your barrier function, right? The overall health of your scalp. So that was the first active that we did. Then we put that active in different things. So where that carries out, you're in braids, right? Or a protective style.
Because I knew it was gonna rain.
And look, what happens, right? I grew up in the church, so I've been seeing this forever, my whole life, right?
I tried not to itch my head.
Hey, and that pat, I know that's itch. Yes. What's that itch from? Well, it's really because the scalp is dry, right? And you're trying to get to it, but you don't want to mess up the hair. You don't want to, make the braids look messy or whatever. So we created a product, Soothe Me, right? And that was to really help with, all right, let's get some actual actives in to relieve the itch within 15 minutes.
I could have been up here right now like this.
Hit it. Hey, I need it. I should have brought it. Had I known, I didn't get the brief. But that was like one of the products. Then it's like, we don't want to wash our hair every day. But what happens is that buildup is actually blocking the pores. It's preventing your hair from growing, right?
Really?
And being its healthiest. Absolutely. You got to cleanse the scalp because we're always told, wash your hair once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, right? I've seen women go months without washing their hair. Terrible on the scalp. So then we did Root Refresh, a very mild cleanser, but you don't have to completely submerge your hair. You can now spray, and it's like dry shampoo for Black women. Because when you have that, so boom, that was my Root Refresh product. So we just keep innovating like that down the line, right? Bringing solutions to help with both protecting the hair and scalp, right? And making it healthier, making it, easier to style, but then the convenience too, because wash day is real. That's where the name Sunday to Sunday came from. Because it was like Sunday's a day of rest. Like for real, it was godly, but it was also because it was hair. And it took the whole day. So I said, all right, how do we get you from Sunday to Sunday? Right? How do we make it so you can live your life with no compromises, throughout the week? So that was how the product came to life. But
it's so crazy. I'm like, Sunday's on Halo. It's time to wash your hair. Like it's a whole process, whole day.
Real.
We got to moisturize. It's like, it. That's good. So I saw you were in Sephora, Macy's.
Sephora, Ulta, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Violet Gray. We got some big stuff coming too next year.
We had a beauty panel on Juneteenth. And I wish we knew you then.
Bring a little testosterone in that thing.
There was the little moisturizer you just used. But we were talking about, people who wanted to get into, products. I mean, there's just this huge market for us to get in there. And who better knows us than us, right?
Yeah.
Man.
So just what are some tips you would give some people who are interested in getting in the product line, getting in stores? Like what does that look like?
Listen, my first tip I'll give is they should go over to venturenoire.org and sign up, because we just graduated 21 entrepreneurs through our cohort to help them establish their businesses, get them kicked off. We raised over $2 million in funding for that group.
Nice.
So you're talking about, Black folks that receive far less capital than their white counterparts. We start a business with typically $5,000.
Yeah.
All right. Our white counterparts start a business with $75,000.
Yeah.
You look at our $2 million that we raised over that cohort. What is that? 115,000 ish, right? That we were able to give. So we now are over delivering what our white counterparts are getting to start a business. So that's one step that I would say. Yeah. But coming in, we have another cohort that starts in March.
Okay.
And that is specifically for beauty products.
Nice.
And we have major retailers that are now partnering with that. And it's a strategy around how do we use your shelf for social good?
Yeah.
So now let's get through the cohort, but now let me get you placement in that store, that Ulta, that Target, that Walmart, et cetera.
Yeah.
So this is a new program that we're rolling out. So that kicks off in March.
Okay.
Application window opens up in in January. So
I
have
a few people I know.
Go in and sign up, because we're not talking lip service. Like we actually graduating people and put money in pockets.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
It's real. But yeah, I mean, other than that, general tips is like, I do pain storming. Like the big thing, and I think you guys can hear it because I talk about the problems people are having, so I know what I'm fixing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think sometimes we get caught up in our own like genius. Yeah. And that's why I don't like creating products for me.
Right.
Because when you create something for yourself, you think you know.
True.
Like you just assume you know.
Yeah.
And like that's the one thing you can't do as an entrepreneur is assume you know.
Right. Because you don't.
You don't know nothing.
You don't know, and it changes what you think
you gotta listen.
Yeah.
So I always say pain storm, because then you listen. I don't brainstorm. Brainstorming feeds the ego.
Yeah.
Pain storming, I gotta listen. So like what's bothering you? What's bothering you? Now I'm thinking of, okay, is it bothering a bunch of other people? Because now I got a market.
Yeah.
Now let me provide a solution.
There we go.
Do you like it? No, you don't like it? Let me tweak it. Do you like it now? Okay, bet. Let me make more of it.
Yeah.
That's what I always say about that. And if you keep doing that at scale, you'll find yourself in major retailers doing millions of dollars.
Amazing.
Like that's the process.
That's amazing. And there's a huge market for us to tap into, because one thing in common that I saw on the panel was everyone was like, I didn't see me. I didn't see me. I didn't see me. Like in every aspect of the beauty chain. Yeah. It was like, I came to this country. I didn't see me. So I made it, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think that's the thing.
But I will also tell folks though, I'm all about for us by us is cool, but I'm also cool with just by us.
Yeah,
like 100%. Cool with us just owning stuff,
100%,
and it being for everybody.
That's one thing. That's one thing when we started this space, because we both come from tech space of the biggest companies, and it was like, no, I don't want the business to look like a Black business. I want you to walk in and wow, this is a nice business. Period. We have nice thing. We have nice design. We have an eye for tech. We have an eye for this. Like I don't want to be just a Black business. And that was something even when we had our publicists, they were trying to build these stories around just Black. And it was like, can we just talk about like us being good at what we do?
Yep.
Like, can we talk about that too?
Yep.
And you see all this Black art in here, but even though like that to me is like, why can't this be a regular business with like, I have Black art. Yes, you can look on my social media page and you see a lot of brown colored people. Like it's okay. But you don't have to, that doesn't mean this is focused on a Black business.
Right.
Because you see a lot of businesses that are white owned.
Yep.
And they have maybe more white marketing, the people that you see in their Instagram. But it's like, you don't go, oh, that's a white business.
No.
You just say
it's like saying pretty for a Black girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. It's you know, these things are like incredibly disrespectful.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty much over it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm like. No, we just build businesses.
Yeah.
Make money, create impact, right, and improve lives. Like that's what our jobs are. So it's very, very simple.
I know your wife works with you on Sunday to Sunday.
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
How do you guys make that work, like from work life, home life, and then keep that separate?
You know, I think it's clear. Like I'm the business boss, and she is the household family boss.
That's good.
So
for the business?
This is how we separate. We separate work from life.
How?
In work, I'm the CEO.
Oh,
in
I
life,
see.
she's the CEO.
Okay.
So there are certain times of the day, like she's got full control. So what time we're eating, what we're eating, where we're going, vacation, what's the schedule, who's coming in and out of the house, right? So we just kind of delineate it that way.
So you guys established your roles.
We had to.
Yeah. Someone told me that a long time ago. I think we're finally just listening.
Look, I'm gonna be real. Like I'm actually like low key a little neurotic about some of the stuff. Like we have a goal session, we have quarterly review, we have budget sessions, we have family planning, and not just with us, with like my parents and my sister and my brother-in-law and the niece and nephew.
Oh, that's good.
What schools they go to, what courses they, how do we test them in extracurricular? Everything is very much like an institution.
Okay.
And for me, I take like legacy building and wealth creation like very serious.
Yeah.
Like there's some stuff I like joke about, whatever, but when I looked at some of, and I've been fortunate enough to interact with the Walton family, who's, the creators of Walmart, and they're our biggest funder on our nonprofit. And when I look at how they move, it's an institution.
Yeah.
And it's like the roles that all the grandkids have, right? And it's a family, but it's also a business.
Yeah.
So our family is the same, right? It's a family, and we have leads in the family, but then it's a business too, right? So that's why it was important for her to be a part of my business, to have ownership in my companies, for my sister and my mom, right? And my cousin, who's an intern, right? In the company. Like,
that's great.
You have to start instilling that now, because you never want to look up and like, you as an entrepreneur, you made all this money and then your family is just looking to you to give them money.
Right.
You want everyone to feel like they're contributing, right? And bringing value to the table. So it's important to set that up early. So
I'm staring a little off because you asked about the wife, and we have a lot of dad viewers and men viewers, and we don't get a lot of dad guests. But listening to you talk, you seem, before you got married, it seemed like you were really well versed, well traveled. You took your education very seriously. No, I mean, just from listening to you talk, I think that's really great. I think, and I don't know your wife, but it just sounds like she's amazing as well. Yeah. So how important was that, I'm steering off from the parenting topics, but, getting married and because a lot of men be just looking down upon marriage. I was having this conversation the other day, and like, how has that changed your life getting married?
Let me I'm gonna cut the record, now. I want to put a little scratch in. One, we're not married.
Oh, you're not?
So we're not married.
Okay.
I
thought you said why.
We are like common law married.
Okay, like 60. What does that mean? Like 6 years?
Like you just cohabitating, right?
Oh, okay. That's why you cut my record. Okay.
No, we're very, very much committed. I think for us, we haven't just gotten to that stage in life, and I think we could. Like,
not dang that. I was like, this is great. Like, I think people need to hear this.
Yeah,
this man out here, this woman in their business,
but I like how y'all have set this up. It's just like very.
I think it's non-traditional, but it made sense for me.
Yeah.
Right. So you'd have to bring her in to see, because I don't want to speak
she's
for
next.
Her. Right. Like for me, it was, I wanted to have the like business of us set up first. And it took me a while just to get to it. Right. As an entrepreneur, you got a lot of moving parts and not everything makes sense. Some stuff is in build phase and all that. So for me, it was like the first step was, one, getting our businesses aligned, right? Making sure she had ownership in the things that I had. Like, so because when you get married, like you got to paperwork all that stuff up, especially when you have investors and boards and those things. So I wanted to get that cleaned up. So we started launching companies together first.
This was the plan?
Yeah, this was like the plan. So like these were real steps. So like that's why I'm saying I'm gonna put a little scratch in the record because I'm like super open about it with folks. Because again, it made sense for me. I can't speak on everybody else. But you know, a lot of times what happens when people get divorced, a lot of times it's like they say, well, infidelity. Well, if you talk about infidelity, well, that's because there was no business there. When there's business there, a lot of times infidelity isn't the cause. Yeah. So if it's not infidelity, it's 90% of the time money. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get the business and the money piece situated first, right? So let's address that. So we got our equity alignments, right, and all that done. We knew we wanted to have a kid, right, and hopefully a few kids. So God willing, right? I'll get on the team with y'all. But you know, when we knew we were getting ready for Kennedy, it was, okay, how do we set up the trust for the family, getting those set up, right? 529 plans, right? All these things, how are deductions? So that's why I say our household is run as an entity that we both pay into. Yeah. And then there's a family office that everybody in my family pays. So I had to get all that stuff first. What I didn't want to rush to was like, do the marriage piece, because that felt easy to me. Yeah. It was like, I can go to the courthouse and knock that out. But it was like all this other stuff was like a series of planning and legal meetings and like.
So it's really like how are we doing life together? That's like really, this is the real epitome of like doing life.
Like
real adulting stuff. So it's, you know, honestly, like we're a startup, right? We're still new in this. We've been together for, 5 years. So it's like, that's very much startup phase. So we've just gotten through this. Yeah. Now I would say the next phase is marriage.
Okay.
Right.
Hey.
But like we had to get that stuff done because I'm not gonna just have no like Instagram marriage.
Because you know what's funny? I've been married 5 years and we just now completed like most of the things you just said. Yeah. Yeah. Like the trust and all this stuff. It's taken us to this point.
Because it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
It takes a lot of buy-in. And then you got to start asking yourself really tough questions like, what are you willing to do to grow all of it? Right? Because then the contribution has to be there. Yeah. Because that's the thing for me is like, I never wanted to get into a situation where our value was questioned as an individual. So I don't ever want her to feel like she's not contributing equally to what we're building. Yeah. So in order to do that, like we had to build it together, like be a part of it. And same with me. I want to make sure. So then now I know what's letting down the family because I have a role in the family. Yeah. She's got a role in the family. My sister, my mom, my dad, my brother-in-law, my niece, my nephew. We all have roles. Yeah. And once you start having that, then you're not going to let down the family. Yeah. Yeah. Right. You're not going to let some like, little bullshit or whatever, mess us up. So I take that stuff, like I say, serious. So I had to get all that done.
Yeah. That's like now Marlon and I are just starting to do this. He's starting more businesses and I'm like, okay, wait, what? Like, wait, we have a business together now? He's like, hold on, wait, what do I do in this business? So like we've had to sit down and talk about roles and it's so interesting because it's like, okay, now we're actually partners in this. Like we have to start agreeing on certain things.
See, like you just articulated way better than me in so much less time. I done took up all the time on the podcast. That's it. I had to get our partnership right. Yes, I'm gonna use your language. Yes, we got the partnership right. So we are truly partners on paper in everything. That's good. And in how we operate. Then yes, we'll address all the other stuff. But yeah, partners. I like that. I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Well, before we get out of here, Keenan, this is like a great conversation. Yeah. What are some things that people can look forward to as far as events or maybe new opportunities that you have coming up in 2022?
We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming. So like I said, on the nonprofit side, we have the cohort setting up. So that'll be a CPG focused cohort that starts in March. We're building our own manufacturing facility all throughout the Midwest. So be on the lookout for that. So we're actually going to start doing our own 3PL. We're going to start doing our own manufacturing. So that's a big initiative that we'll get a major announcement here in the next few weeks. Other than that, Sunday to Sunday, we'll continue to launch more products, and getting things out to meet the needs of folks. Got a lot of events planned there. Yeah. So I can't even go through all that. Chev runs that. But I will say we have our New Year, New Me kind of celebration that kicks off in January. So excited about that. Then all the other products, they're launching and rocking and rolling. Yes. So
I can't wait to get my box.
Yeah, look, I might need to do that. I might need to do just like a little black box for me. No, so it's a lot of that, but I think one of the things I will say, just again, because the topic was entrepreneurship and being a dad and these things. what is crazy for me, and I'll just leave you with something that I was thinking about as I was driving over here. And it was everything in entrepreneurship, especially when it's venture backed, is to go faster.
Yeah.
Right. It's speed. Yeah. Right. You're, I always tell people you're never giving up equity. You're buying speed. So you're buying your ability to go faster. Right. And building your business. And then everything about fatherhood, I'm trying to slow down.
Yes.
And so I will say that was the thing that has messed me up the most is like my whole life has been on go faster. Yeah. And now I'm like trying to hold on to these like moments. Yeah. And so
we can talk forever. I have so many stories.
That was the that was the piece like that I think, my fellow dads out there, that are listening can understand. Cause like we're wired to just go get it, with a sense of urgency. And now we're learning to like be present, like and sit and be still a little bit, with the family and enjoy the moment.
Wait till she asks you to paint her nails.
Yep.
As long as it's hers and not mine. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about right there. I'm over here. I'm trying to hold on to my brolic nature. You know what I mean?
I told my fiance that. I was like, when this little girl comes, she's going to ask you to paint your nails. Are you okay with that? He thought about it. Because we have 3 boys. And so he was just like, yeah, I think I'll be okay with it. I was like, what if it's hot pink? He was like...
Marlon sent me a picture of a gun when he found out.
Oh yeah,
when he found out he was having a girl, I just got a text. It was just a gun. I was
he was just like, found out we're having a girl. Next picture, gun everywhere. Just so y'all know,
and LA is real right now.
Right,
strapped up in the house.
There you
might not want to come up in there.
Right.
Yeah, think about that one. Think about that.
All right, before we get out of here, our last segment is called I'm fine, because a lot of times people will ask us how we're doing and we lie and we say I'm fine,
and we're not.
So we want to leave you with a little bit of inspiration. This quote comes from Martin Luther King Jr. It's, you don't have to see the whole staircase just to take the first step. So I say that because we're talking about entrepreneurship. And a lot of times people are like, I don't know how to get started or what should I do? Just take the first step.
Go to the website.
Yeah.
And then go to Noire.org.
Yeah. Like,
get more information.
There's help out there. Help out there. And I think, we got to help each other. So,
absolutely.
Density creates success. So
100%.
It's time. We're in a moment now. I love it.
Yes. Okay. So Keenan, where can people find you and find any websites, any social
all
media
my
tags?
stuff is so easy. I'm so basic. It's just Keenan Beasley. So KeenanBeasley.com, Keenan Beasley on Instagram, Keenan Beasley on Twitter, all that stuff. So
TikTok.
I think I do have a TikTok. I don't be really on there dancing yet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wait till Kennedy gets a little older, but you know what I mean? I might get in there and do a little challenge. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it's all Keenan Beasley.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Congrats on this. I love this show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching and listening to Mommy Needs a Break. We do this every week with really dope mommy and daddy guests. So make sure you tune in, you subscribe, share with your friends. And if there's anybody that you'd like for us to interview, put it in the comments below. I'm one of your hosts, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop everywhere.
And I am Marisa Johnson at She is Marisa J. We will see you next week.
Bye.